Hi everyone, Mckaiser Dragon here, and I am going to be talking about gaming again. I want to try to explain it. I feel like I found a better way to explain it if I can remember everything. And I'm also going to try to do this, what's it called? Labyrinth while doing it. And this is my own personal, this is more of my personal thoughts about it. I know everyone has their own viewpoints, but it's my viewpoint about gaming. Where do I want to start though? I didn't think about that. I did not think about where I wanted to start this conversation. Let me see.
Where there's a golden key, there must be a golden door.
Give me a second. Actually, just give me a second. Okay, so there's a lot of points. I'm not going over every single point in this video because that'll be way too much. I'm just gonna focus in on what I think. So gaming is, oh, this is my point right here. I feel like games these days are more about getting the reward you used to get, but now you have to pay for it.
Let the day dawn golden with possibility.
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on. Okay, I switched musics. I feel like the reward structure of gaming right now is it's shifted from having a long, enjoyable game to play to something you have to pay for. I know I'm jumping around here. I know, like, one talking point about gaming is like there's too many games to play now. I think that was always an issue. It's just that these days, there was, let me see. These days, there's just, or people have more money these days than they did back then. Or back then, you might only get to buy a game once a month, once every few months. And you really had to stick with whatever game you got and whatever other games you already had. But most definitely the experience is it's more of an experience than it is what it used to be, which is another part. Like I used to be able to just fully submerge myself in the game I was playing. Now that is also personal of why I can't submerge myself in gaming. But it's also part of the game, and like you can see it with Diablo 4, Starforge, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and that's, you know, the game itself is secondary, and how they make money it comes first, rather than trying, rather than like game companies, because now they're like corporations now, sadly. Or I'll get to that later. Uh, it's not about them making a good game first and then having ways for us to spend money in the game
Rise to the occasion.
that seem very enjoyable and fun and rewarding. Uh, the other point I have is that, dear God, alright. Give me a second.
By the goddess, what ambition! The sovereign leech leaves but a husk
Now I forgot my
of its
point.
descendants.
It tied into game development. Oh my God, I suck at this. Okay. Now, think of that. Now, we're going to transition to more of my personal experience, right? And for me, being a gamer is just. The game is life, right? And do you know why the game is life? Because the life just sucks. Like, to me, life is boring. Everyone has their own ideas they want to fulfill. No one's really there for you all the time. People always tell you what to do, what you can't do. You always gotta, like, make a good image of yourself. There's a lot of, I don't know, there's just life, life sucks. But the game lets me escape, alright? Now I'm in this new world. Life is good. Oh yeah, and in life, like, there's no true meaning in life unless you want there to be. Life's a very big competition that moves slowly, though. And if you don't believe me, then why is everyone buying, like, Ferrari? Well, not everyone, but, the rich people buying Ferraris to flex. And they get to flex and stuff, and then, at least me, struggle to get a job, struggle through school, just because I play games doesn't mean, or now that means, like, people look down on you. Of course, a lot of these things have changed over the decades, but to not have a place where the game, or you can just spend years in, and like, to me, the game is life, so the game needs to give me meaning, which, a lot of MMOs, oh, you gotta save the world, or go over here, do this, do that. It feels, and then, your job, your warrior, thief. Once you master that class, you feel mastery, and that you could do things way better than other people. And a lot of that's gone. What else is there? I know, like, these days, like, they think it's cool. Like, look at Diablo 4. Oh, it's cool to farm renown, which is like, unless you're doing it like super efficient, it's gonna take you a day or two, maybe 3 or 4. And it's just like all these things that are just meaningless tasks that gives you very little. It's kind of big in the long run, but, like, thinking about it, it's very, very small. Which brings me to my next point is I want to feel progression in my game because there's not a lot of progression in my life, right? So if I buy a $70 game, I need that game to last me multiple months. I don't like how people, oh, if you value your time at $1 an hour. Quite honestly, I just don't value my time. But also, when I do value my time, it's in the game. So if I only get a month's worth or 2 weeks worth or even a week's worth of gaming through that game and it costs me $70, I don't feel like I got my money's worth. I wanted it to last me, a few years, something I can do every day and enjoy and be comfortable in while I have to live through this lame life of, going to work and having a job and getting paid. Right now it's an okay amount. It used to be an okay amount. Now it's not so great now. Things change. Prices go up. So if my life gets more expensive and my paycheck doesn't increase, well, life is getting worse. You gotta cut more corners. You gotta find more ways to save your money. And gaming was like the best way to save money. Because you buy, $300-400 console. That console's gonna last you 10, 15, 20 years. And of course, you gotta buy the games to it, but each game should last you multiple months to years. Now, an example of a game that took a long time, right? Because we want our games to last a very long time. Star Ocean 3. If you look it up, the back cover, the front and the back cover, right, of the game, they brag that on average it takes 140 hours just to beat the game. And now most single player games you can beat in like a day
When the time comes
or
to strike,
a week.
an emperor strikes without hesitation. To entertain dies only as a
But Star Ocean 3 also had a new game or a post game. They also had new game plus, I think, but
strike.
they had a post game where you can just grind until you're blue. It did take a while, but it was very enjoyable.
You are inexhaustible. Only one of your lessons was
And this kind of chimes back in where the games are being made just to waste your time for no reason, rather than to allow you to experience the game and have crazy amounts of fun. We gotta be careful here. Stop. We gotta focus. So I just don't like these games where they lock a lot of features behind a paywall. And I know it's getting worse with mobile games because think of it like this. People like to compare, right? And so when you have a mobile game where the progression is RNG and everything's like RNG related, because like split diversion right here, a lot of single player games, a lot of things are not RNG. You just brute force it, right? But in mobile games, there's a lot of RNG. You gotta get lucky with your gear. You gotta get lucky with the characters you summon. You gotta get lucky with this. You gotta get lucky with that. You gotta get lucky multiple times in a row. That doesn't mean you earned it, though, in my eyes. That's like winning the lottery. Did you earn all that money? No, you just wrote some numbers on a piece of paper and then, boom, I'm rich. I wish it was that easy, but so when these mobile games are making a lot of money, all these corporations is like, we want that type of money, right? They thought, oh, our margins are 3 to 5 million, and then they look at mobile games. Oh, we could make 3 to 5 million in like a month, maybe 3 months. I don't know. I'm just giving an example, right? But mobile games, it's like, oh, we make 3 to 5 million a week, or every 2 weeks, or whatever, and it's so much better. And now you implement it in other games. So, battle. I don't know what came first, a battle pass in mobile games or a battle pass in first-person shooters. I'm not sure. Someone look that up. But now you see a battle pass everywhere. Now you see a COD shop everywhere almost. What else is there? Now you see microtransactions. You see early access. You see different editions of the same game. And it's just like, can we just, have the game, play the game, have fun? I know Elden Ring, a great example of, here's the game, do as you please, no extra money needed. But what about the next game? For me, Elden Ring is fun, but also very frustrating, and I just don't like the loss in Elden Ring where you can lose all your souls, and the grind sucks. The grind in Elden Ring, I can't brute force it the way I want to, which is just grind easy enemies until you get stronger, right? I mean, technically you could, but then it just takes forever. Like, you get pennies of EXP just fighting regular monsters. You have to go out of your way and challenge yourself. But that is what makes Elden Ring way more rewarding. It's just that you defeat one thing, you get an upgrade, and then the next thing's just smacking you around, and then you need the next upgrade, and it's the next, and the next. Other than that, Elden Ring's a great game. But I don't see myself living in Elden Ring for a long time. So now there's this game like Path of Exile, which is free, and I could be playing it all the time. And this is where we run into our next issue, which it is an issue, but it isn't an issue. Is like too many games coming out, and like this, we have this weird thing where we're just follow the hype train. And instead of just staying in the game you're already in, you gotta go to Oh my god. Yeah, I go to the next. What is going on? I'm just like that. That's a boss skill. You are. I'm very distracted. I really don't want to die.
Gift from our primitive past.
Are you joking me? I. No, thinking about this, no, to some degrees, do I find every game that I used to
An aspirant can afford
super
to be
fun?
promising.
No,
An emperor must
because
keep those promises.
life has changed. I've experienced stuff. Things are. So,
You must navigate your empire through troubled waters.
I played, 10 years of MMOs, right? 10, 15.
Don't give up yet. Your destination is more dangerous than the journey, Ascendant.
Alright, sick. Sick. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Kinda wish I had some real boots for that, but it's just gonna have to do for now. So my experience, like, technically, I don't have a home in a game right now. I know my home used to be Maple Story, but I left out home to find a new one, and honestly, haven't found it yet. I thought I found it sometimes, but then it just wasn't it. And I could go back to Maple Story and just play it for the rest of my life because it kind of has infinite content. But now I want something more than just a mindless grind. Sometimes, sometimes I want to think about it, and it's just where I want it to put what I want where doesn't always add up to the MMO I try to play, or even just the console game I want. And things, you know, you get bored of just doing the same thing over and over again after a while. Even though, like, to me back then Maple Story was like always new to me. There was always something new to do, or something to explore, something to do here, or the community, and which, sadly, on to the next point, the community, it has changed. Um, we don't need games to interact with other people anymore. That was, quite honestly, the cheapest way back in the day. Or if you wanted to talk to someone in Europe, you either had to call them, had to know their number, have this expensive phone bill to pay for that. Or you can, fly to Europe and go meet people at Europe. Well, that was super expensive. That would be like a year's worth, 2, 3, 4, 5 years worth of your money being saved up because there's other stuff you gotta do with your money. And now, what it used to be was video games was the new way. These MMOs were the new way to talk to people online that is not near you. That could be anywhere in the world. that was the old way. And it's also, think of it like, to not only just, you don't want to, well, I don't know about everyone, but for me, uh, just talking to a random person, in real life, like, you don't know what they did, what you can talk about with them, or anything like that, right? But in an MMO, well, you're both playing the game. If you don't know what to talk about, you can talk about the game. Did I get it? Okay, we're so win. I think I'm going to go with the mark. I don't know how to use marks, but hey, there we go.
My mana is gone.
And so, just to, you know, MMOs brought it so you could just talk to anyone and you still had something to talk about. Or just something to do that's free. Whereas, you meet someone in real life, if you want to hang out, you gotta go somewhere. Like, I mean, technically you can just go to the park and do nothing, but a lot of people, they want to do something fun or enjoyable. Just going to the park, you just do it whenever, and that's not very meaningful. But go to the arcade or go to go out to karaoke, go out for something. It costs a lot of money, so the game was the best solution for relatively cheap price, right? But now, these days, you have social media, you have Twitch, YouTube, blah blah blah, and there's thousands upon thousands of different ways you can interact with people that's just not in real life. So those are some points. There's definitely multitude more points to why gaming isn't what it used to be. But I feel like I don't know if it's the two biggest reasons, but I'm just gonna say these are pretty big reasons why gaming is in the state it is now, which is, one, there's a bigger audience for gaming, so now it's not focused on a small group of people trying to make this amount of money. Now we need to sell to everybody and make as much money as possible, and we need to do as little as possible. Diablo 4 game's basically in beta, $70 beta game. Do as least as possible, hype it up as much as possible to get as much sales as possible, to either A, just pocket the money, or B, slowly work on the game. And which that also implies the game comes second. Earning more money through the game comes first, so we gotta chop up the game so people spend more, and then we make even more money. It just sucks because I was very close to buying Starfield, but I didn't, and I just went back to No Man's Sky because I wanted that feeling of Starfield. It was a very good experience, and I need to go back to it soon, but there's other games coming out. I'm more of in a fighting game type of mood right now. And Path of Exile is like Path of Exile is like getting 50 containers of Play-Doh and you have to build what you want to make. It feels nice, but sometimes like this is also why I play games. It's like my I'm not very creative at all. I let the game do that for me, and then I can become creative. So, in PoE, you gotta be smart to be creative in PoE. Like you can't brute force it all the time. There is some thinking, like I got this bow, right? This is not part of the point anymore. This is just me ranting a little bit about how unsmart I am. I got this bow, right? I have the skill, right? 18,000. Let's go to the hideout. Let's have all these buffs, right? 31,000. 31,000. I don't know how people make it to like past the I don't know how you make it past 300,000 damage. I don't understand at all. Like you can't just stack more damage because there's this thing called diminishing returns in PoE, and that means if you try to stack too much of one thing, well, you get much and much and much out of it, which I don't like. I just want to brute force it, man. Let me brute force it. So now you need multiple ways of increasing your damage while keeping up with your life, defensive layers, this, that, utility. I don't know how people do it. I waste all my points in all this. Like I know people like cut corners like these 3 points. Well, if I go here and get this, then I could get a jewel, or go over here and get a large jewel cluster. Then I can have even. I'm just like it doesn't. To me, it doesn't feel that much better if I do it. But then I just do it poorly. So, well, there's the rant about gaming for me. Mobile game is poisoning. Honestly, it's not even truly mobile game. It's the gambling aspect of gaming. Anything where it's just RNG based, that is gated behind spending money, that is what's poisoning gaming. Because honestly, if it was, what if Raid Shadow Legends had no microtransactions? What type of a game would it look like? Well, in my eyes, it'll just take way longer to progress through the game than it normally would. But guess what? You still get to play the game. Rather than, oh, you ran out. Oh, and no energy system or anything like that to hold you back, right? The energy system and the pay to win is what holds you back, because now you need energy. Now you can't do as many battles as you want because you need energy. And how do you get energy? Well, you either spend money or you wait. Waiting like that to me is not true gameplay. But those are my. Oh yeah, one more thing. I did forget about how I treated games back then with single player games, right? Before the MMO days. To me, the game was about, also getting friends, right? Like, the game was my friend. And that was mainly because I didn't have any real friends. Or if I did, we could only spend a little bit of time. that, and I would move every like 4 to 5 years. Actually, like 3 to 4. So, you know, trying to find a bunch of new friends to hang out with, well, that was just not something I did. But yeah, that's just a little snippet. Bye. My thoughts, but thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I have Patreon. I have other YouTube videos. Have at it. Subscribe. See you guys next time. Dragon Abyss out.
どう考えても父の死は不思議なことだらけ。私は必ずその真相を突き止めなければならない。